Hey there, everybody. How's it going? It's a new week, and we've got a few things to talk about this week. A few exciting things going on. There is a boss battle simulator, of course. That's always pretty exciting. Probably the most exciting thing, however, and I want to get straight to it, is that it is a triple Pix week. And if you have unlocked the bonus 1-4 Pix stage, then you are going to be just rolling in the Pix. It is crazy how much Pix you can accumulate this week with the triple. It's just this week. So, if you're looking for a stage to farm this week, definitely do it. If you haven't unlocked bonus 1-4, still do 1-2. That one's easy. The only thing you have to do for bonus Pix 1-2 is just beat chapter 1 in the, I think, chapter 1 hard mode. And that's all you have to do. It is a little bit of a steeper challenge to unlock bonus 1-4. You have to beat very hard stage 1-11 in chapter 1. So you have to go to chapter 1 and you have to have beaten up to, on the very hard setting, up to 1-11. So you have to beat this stage, which does mean you have to go through the boss stages on 1-3, 1-6, and 1-9. Those are going to be the probably hardest challenges for players, especially newer players. Obviously, if you're not even silver level yet, you can't even access the very hard stages. So, keep that in mind. If you're wondering why you can't even see these stages yet, you do have to be silver level in your rank. So your rank level has to be silver at a minimum just to access very hard. But then once you can do that, as long as you can beat all the way up to 1-11, you'll unlock bonus 1-4 for the extra Pix. And the amount of Pix is insane. I've been recording my runs just to see what it's like. And so there are basically 3 different amounts of Pix you can get. You can either get 275 base, 300, or 325 base. That's before the triple Pix event. So this is what I was doing last week, was just farming the bonus Pix and just trying to get an understanding. And so the way it shakes out is it looks like it's a 50% chance of getting 275 Pix, a probably about 30% chance of getting the 300 Pix, and about a 20% chance of getting the 325. Now, when you triple all those numbers, you're getting either 825, 900, or 975. So yeah, you can get almost 1,000 Pix if you get lucky in just one run, which is insane. So definitely be farming this up this week. You shouldn't be doing anything else other than farming Pix, because if you want to get your units, if you want to increase, craft those super pixels and craft those wisdom orbs to get your units to 6-star, then you're going to need a lot of Pix. Now, unfortunately, if you are doing a lot of crafting of that stuff, you're probably also going to suddenly start running low on pixels. I have just burned through my upgrade pixels. I used to have before super pixels were invented, I had easily over 200,000 pixels. I'm now down to I can barely even fully level up a unit now with the amount of pixels. So next week they're going to be doing, I think, the triple pixel. So, actually it says it's triple pixel right now. So you can actually do both. That's pretty cool. All right, so you can also do triple pixels right now, which I might honestly be kind of going back and forth and doing a little bit of both, because I'm running low on both now. I'm running low on Pix and pixels. So whichever one you're running the lowest on, definitely go for that. But yeah, it's triple pixels, I guess. So go for it. Just get as much as you can. Obviously, the best pixel stage to farm is bonus 3-1, which gives you the highest amount of pixels per run. So definitely do that one. All right. So enough about that. That's pretty exciting stuff. There are a couple of banners on up for the boss simulator. Of course, they want to bring back any bonus units. So this week it's like Disney Villains Week, I guess, during the boss battle sim. So they've got a Disney Villains banner, which has The three they have up are, of course, Wicked Pete, Jafar, and Cruella, but it does include all the villains. It does include all of your villains. So just to show you which ones have the increased drop rate. So the ones with the rate up are Pete, Jafar, and Cruella, but it does also include Maleficent, Hades, and Ursula in there in your villains. They just don't have the rate up. So you've got a rate up on Pete, Jafar, and Cruella, but you can also get Maleficent, Hades, and Ursula in there as well. Now, obviously, Maleficent and Ursula also are in just the general pool, so that's not so exciting. And Hades is a pretty trash unit, so I'm kind of glad that they did the rate up on Pete, Jafar, and Cruella because they're by far the most useful of the Disney villains units. You can also do a paid crystal 10 pull, which does a guaranteed, and the guaranteed, I believe, is also out of those Disney villains as well. So you got the 75% chance to get one of the three, and then the remaining 25 is to get one of the trash units, basically. Well, not Ursula. Sorry, Ursula's not trash, and Maleficent really isn't trash either. I mean, Maleficent's fine. You still have a week to pull on Queen of Hearts. She is, of course, a bonus unit this week for the event. So definitely pick her up if you haven't already. And then you're just your premium Gasha, and they are still doing. We have another week of the free daily pulls as well. So be on the lookout for that. Now, as far as these three units, I've done reviews on all of them. Pete is still probably one of the best breakers in the game. However, breakers just aren't really all that useful most of the time. However, during this particular boss battle simulator, you can break both the boss's attack and defense. So Wizard Pete is probably going to be one of the best units for this particular boss battle sim because he's got a very cheap break. He can do a level 3 attack and defense break on his skill. And he can just sit there and just hammer away at the boss battle, at the boss sim. He does immense damage at LB2. His skill becomes incredibly cheap at LB3, so he's actually a very, very good unit for this particular boss battle sim. However, in most cases, he doesn't really get a whole lot of use just because breakers historically haven't really been all that useful in most content. So keep that in mind. He's great for this event, and he will be great anytime breakers are useful, but most of the time they're not. Jafar is a really great unit. I pulled for Jafar back when he came out. He's fantastic. He's fantastic as far as free damage potential is concerned. He's not the strongest unit. His skill also has breaks on it, but the cost is absurd. So it's 45 SP for an attack defense break. So you probably won't be using his skill very much unless you just happen to have a whole heap of SP, or if you have him at LB3 with SP reduction on him, then you can potentially spam his skill a little bit more. But the biggest draw for Jafar is his EX skill, which all he needs is to have 3 buffs and needs to be above 80% HP, and he does a massive damage EX skill with a defense break on it. So he's fantastic for this current boss battle simulator. You're probably going to see a lot of teams with Jafar on it because he is a damage bonus unit for this one. Cruella is a fantastic support unit. However, support units aren't really all that useful in boss battle simulators, but in all other content where it's not a damage race, Cruella is absolutely fantastic. So this is actually a really solid banner to pull for, I think. Getting any one of these 3 units is not a bad investment, I wouldn't think. So just keep in mind it is a 100-point pity. So you got to pull 30. You got to use 30,000 crystals in order to reach a pity for any one of these units. But there is a rate up for all 3 of these units that you see here. Okay, so there's a good chance that if you pull a gold, it's going to be one of these units. So there is that kind of goes into it, right? So just keep that in mind. All right, so if you want to see a more in-depth review on any of these units, you can check my backlog. I've done reviews of all these units in the past. All right, so let's get to the boss battle sim because this is what everyone's probably most interested in. I've been very lucky in the last couple of boss battle sims to do really well just because I happened to pull the banner units at the time, and they were both very, very strong. That would be Moana and Simba. This time, not so much, right? So I do have a Queen of Hearts, but she's only LB1. So she's not really, doing all that well for me. And I don't have a lot of the other Disney villain units. You're going to see a lot of the top teams are basically just running all the best villains. So you got, Maleficent, Queen of Hearts, Jafar, and Ursula, and they're all just like cranking out insane amounts of damage because they are all bonus units this time. And so they're all Disney villains. You'll notice they even have Gaston. Gaston is actually a very competent damage dealer for this one. It does require a little bit of luck that he does not get hit by the boss so that it doesn't ruin his EX requirement, which requires him to be above 75% HP. But if you get lucky and he doesn't take any damage or he doesn't take too much damage, he can actually be a really potent he can be a very potent DPS on this one and crank out a lot of damage. But yeah, so you see the Disney villains, pretty good. It's a pretty good spread of units to choose from. And yeah, so I mean, I think people should be able to do fairly well. Like a broader range of people should be able to do pretty well. You don't have to have Queen of Hearts for this one, so a lot of people might have Maleficent, and Maleficent honestly does just as well, in my opinion, as Queen of Hearts, because you're probably going to be able to use Maleficent's skill more often than you will Queen of Hearts, just because it's cheaper. Ursula, of course, is fantastic. Mine, unfortunately, is only LB0, so I can't really utilize her as much as I would like to. Cruella is nice, but honestly, her only damage is just doing her regular attack, which... I mean, if you don't have any other damage bonus units, you can still use her and just use her regular attack, and that's fine. But for me, I'm using Jafar and Queen of Hearts to deal most of the damage. So as you can see, this is the score I've been able to get with team. I'm going to show you in just a second. I've still got 5 tries, so I am going to do my remaining tries here with you guys and just show you how I get through this boss. So for this one, I am leaning on Queen of Hearts to deal a good chunk of damage since she is a bonus unit and she has a very easy skill, EX skill to activate. Doesn't require any HP requirements or anything like that. So very easy skill to activate. However, it does require me to use Winnie the Pooh to activate her. So Pooh can activate Queen of Hearts very, very easily just by using his skill. So that's why Pooh is here. Obviously, Jafar is here. He's really just going to be using his EX skill most of the time. I will use his actual skill one turn in order to get a full defense break on the boss. But that's pretty much it. Belle, obviously, for crits, and Doofy for my attack boost buffer. If you do have, like an LB3 Queen of Hearts with say SP reduction, you can actually drop Doofy and use Queen of Hearts as your attack up booster instead, and then you can slot in another villain for extra damage. That's how the top people this week are going to be doing the insane damage that you might see them doing, is by basically just dropping Doofy and using Queen of Hearts as their attack up booster. All right. We don't really need an SP battery because Queen of Hearts basically does that for us. I'll just real quickly show you what the skills that we have. So I've got Pooh with SP consumption minus 20% on him just to reduce the amount of SP we're using. Jafar just has attack skill power up because I'm basically just relying on his EX skill to deal damage. So, I don't need SP reduction on him because I'm just relying on his EX skill for the most part. Belle just has some max SP. As you saw, attack skill power up on Queen of Hearts because again, much like Jafar, I'm just relying on her EX skill to do the majority of the damage. And then Doofy just got SP consumption minus 10% just to try and reduce the amount of SP we're using for a lot of these buffers. All right, so let's go ahead and just get in here and let's see how we go. All right, so to start off with, I'm actually going to defend Jafar because there's a good chance the boss is going to do an AoE attack. When you push him into rage mode, I think it's like a 75% chance probably. It's a high chance that the boss does an AoE attack, and I don't want Jafar to drop below 80%, so I need him to guard. We're obviously going to buff with Pooh. to activate Queen of Hearts. Obviously, going to buff with Bell, and then Doofy for the attack boost. All right. There is a very small chance that the boss will just do 2 single target attacks instead of the AoE, but yeah, I'm not going to rely on that. Man, no crits? What was that? That was trash. Oh, of course you hit Jafar, you jerk. So yeah, so that's like a worst case scenario right there, is that he hits Jafar with the single target and the AoE. So Jafar is not going to do his EX skill now, which, you know, that sucks. But anyways, so now we're just going to skill with Bell and Doofy. Just, again, we're maxing out our crit buffs, maxing out our attack boost buffs, and all of that. And yeah, this should definitely get the boss into confusion mode, at which point he's going to put up a 50% barrier for the next 2 turns. All right, so there's the barrier, and then now he's just going to do single target attacks from here on out. But as you can see, he's done a barrier that's a 50% damage barrier. So all your damage is reduced by 50%. So just keep that in mind. All right, so here I'm actually going to do a buff with, I'm going to do another buff with Pooh, and then I'm going to do another attack with, or another skill with Doofy. We just want to make sure we're maxing out our attack buffs here. All right, so unfortunately this is going to be a pretty bad run because Jafar is not going to do his EX skill at all. So on a good run, you know, Jafar wouldn't take as much damage and he'd be doing his EX every turn. So on this one, yeah, we're going to use our SP. And we're going to unload some skills. So we got to make sure we keep up our crit. We're going to use Jafar to break the boss's defense. And we're going to use Doofy's skill as well. And then we're going to use Queen of Hearts skill next turn. All right, so we'll have a 40% defense break going into next turn. Normally we would have a 50%, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so now we're actually going to skill with Queen of Hearts so that our attack boost is maxed out. Okay, hopefully we get some good crits. Nice, nice. I like to see the crits. Yeah, all right. So, you know, not terrible, but yeah, I mean that's a lower than average run because Jafar took that damage at the beginning. All right. So let's give that one another go and let's see if we can't get a better run. All right. Let's see if this won't be a better run. All right, defend with Jafar just in case he does the AoE again. Because if he does the AoE, it's usually not enough to knock Jafar out of lower than 80%. Now you can also use an attack breaker to reduce the incoming damage. So that's, you know, again, if you have Wicked Pete, oh nice, he did 2 single targets. So I could have done an attack with Jafar on that one. Okay. But yeah, if you have Wicked Pete, that greatly reduces the incoming damage, which is you know, really nice. Ooh, nice, we're getting some good crits on this one. Now we just got to make sure that Doofy doesn't die. Okay, and on this one, we're gonna, yeah, again, this one we're gonna buff with Pooh and with Doofy, just to keep our buffs going here. All right, the barrier's up, that 50% barrier, so it's going to reduce our damage a fair bit, but that's all right. As long as we get crits, we should be all right. All right, need more crits. All right, so now we can use our SP, okay, and we're going to, yep, skill these 3, so we make sure we max out our defense break. Hopefully we get a crit. Dang, no crit. That's not what you want. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah. All right, that was a good one. Come on, crit. Nice. All right. Seeing some more crits there. That's good. Okay. Yeah, we got really lucky there. And yep, we'll skill with Queen to max out our attack boost. Nice, there was a crit. I like it. Oh, come on. Where are my crits? This is where I really need them. When the barrier goes down, that's where I really need the crits. Yeah, now that was a low damage turn. Yeah. I think if I'd gotten more crits on that last turn, that could have been a good one. All right. Let's see. Let's keep going here and see how we do. All right. Maybe we can get some more crits this time around and hopefully... Oh, did I guard with Jafar? I might not have. Oh, whoa, I got super lucky on that one. Okay, and he didn't do the AoE. Okay, now we just got to make sure that Doofy doesn't die. Wait, how do I not have enough SP? Oh, because I didn't guard with Jafar. Of course. So I don't have enough SP to do both of those, do I? Okay. Yeah, normally I defend with Jafar, so I would have more SP going into that turn. But I forgot to guard with him. But it might actually work out in the end here. We're going to find out. All right, it might actually work out for me. So yeah, I got my SP a little bit earlier this time than I normally do. So let's do, let's go ahead and do Jafar. Yeah, let's go ahead and do all this. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Let's go ahead and do all this. Nice. Come on, crits. Come on, crits. Bring me the crits. Okay. All right, let's see. We don't need to do him anymore. All right, what are all of our buffs looking like? All right, we got crit. Yeah, so our crits are all maxed out. That's good. So we can just attack here. And I'll just do an attack with Doofy. Or a skill with Doofy, I mean. And we'll try and save up. Yeah, save up SP for next turn. And just try and unload. Nice. Oh man, we've been getting really lucky here, which is great. Alright, we can't do both of them. Yeah, unfortunately. That's okay. As long as we can do Queenie here. Can we do Doofy? Oh, we can. We can skill with Doofy as well. This is actually really good. Okay. Yeah, let's go for it. Nah, we just need more crits. Come on, crits. Oh, gosh, God. Like, this is the turn where we need them. I need the crits on this turn. Of all turns. Man. Yeah, see? The crits just were not on my side on that one. All right. 2 more tries. Let's do this quick. All right, let's just burn through this, yeah? All right, come on. Let's get lucky. Let's get lucky. Oh, I forgot to guard with Jafar again. I think that's the better way to go, is to defend with Jafar. Unless I get really lucky like that. I mean, I keep getting lucky. I keep getting super lucky. Oh, but see, I don't have enough. I don't have the SP. I don't have the SP to do Doofy skill on that turn. So I think that kind of reduces my overall damage. Unless we get lucky with the crits, I guess. But, which, wow, we are getting, that was insane. That was insanely lucky. I don't think I've ever gotten that lucky with the crits. What just happened? I don't know what just happened there. That was wild. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and break with Jafar. We got a crit, which is awesome. Okay. Let's see. All right, we'll use our SP. Try and max out here. We need to do a few skills. And that should leave us plenty of SP for next turn as well. What if we did that? Yeah, no, that's too much because we want to save as much SP for next turn as possible because next turn is when the barrier drops. So he does the barrier for 2 turns while he, basically the barrier is up the whole time he's in confusion mode. We'll just that's the easiest way to leave it. So the barrier's up while he's in confusion mode, and all right, I think that's pretty good. Oh, no, I can't do both of them. Shoot. And I need the crits, don't I? Yeah, I need crits. All right. All right, I can do that. That'll be fine. I wish I could do Jafar's skill as well. Man, I need SP reduction on my Bell so bad. I really need the SP reduction on Bell. Yeah, okay. I think this will work out. As long as we get crits, man. We need the crits. We need the crits more than anything. Let's get the crits. Come on, folks. Nice. Nice. Come on. Come on, crits. Yes. Crit. Oh, no, man. I need those crits, folks. There we go. Oh, that was pretty good, though. 250. That's pretty good. This actually might be my best run. Okay, yeah. Just slightly better. So that's a new record for me. That's pretty good. I'll take that one. Nice, nice. All right, I think that's probably the best I'm going to get. So I'll leave it there. I will do my last one eventually, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So hopefully this has been helpful to you guys, and thank you so much for following me, and I'll see you on the other side.